Hey, what's up? We're the Charisma. We're a band out of the Orange County area. We formed about a year and a half ago, from meeting at a local house show. Started off with me and Ethan and some other people, and then slowly but surely just kept building, and through losing people, through gaining people, came to the lineup we are today, which is me, Kaegen.
I'm Jake. I play drums.
We have Ethan, the bass player, and we have another Ethan who plays guitar.
We're kind of synth poppy.
Yeah.
We got some synth pop elements in there. I'd say we got a lot of 80s influence as well, a lot of Depeche Mode type influences, Joy Division type influences, but the majority of it is rooted in modern synth pop. At least from what I can tell from my ear.
Yeah, and I say we have it's synth pop, but with guitar influence, and a lot of 90s grunge music, with essentially
that's true.
Especially with yeah,
And a lot of the older tunes too.
Yeah,
they fall into that kind of ambiguous rock indie category.
Yeah, because we all came from rock side of everything. Pretty much all started off playing rock music, so kind of just developed throughout the years into this now what we call our dream pop.
Yeah.
Inspirations for our music, like we said, Depeche Mode, Joy Division, Tears for Fears,
Talking Heads, Bowie,
Prince, Michael Jackson,
Phil Collins. Phil Collins. We actually listen to Phil Collins, and there's specific sounds in Phil Collins' music that we need to make that sound.
Yeah, we literally sit there and we're like, okay, let's do this. And we build it from scratch. But
one of the cool things about our group too is I think it's pretty eclectic in a lot of the tastes that we have and a lot of the influences that we have. I've come from a punk background. I came from listening to a lot of late '90s, early 2000s punk. Blink-182 was one of my favorite bands growing up. But then I started hanging out with these guys and listening to the Beatles out of nowhere towards the end of high school, and that opened my eyes to a whole new world of music. And now, the influences from the 70s and 80s have kind of influenced our music and all our individual projects in individual different ways, and it's come together to form this now, which is really cool. So
yes. Songwriting process is different every time. Different from not just between him and I, but between ourselves.
Yeah.
It changes every single time. It starts off sometimes I'll have an idea of a lot of times I'll have a song title and I'll be like, okay, I want to write a song that is named this, and I'll have to come up with the idea that forms it. Or I'll start off with lyrics that I already have written from something I just felt like I had to write. And I'll write it from there. Or a lot of the times I just start on my keyboard and it just I just build a synth pattern or a keyboard melody. Buddies of mine wanted to start a band, and I was like, let's do it. And then they appointed me to be the guitar player. So I was like, all right. And I went out and bought a guitar. And I learned for about a year, never started that band. They all disappeared. I haven't heard from them ever since maybe 6th grade. And I just started learning on my own, started playing in church, played in church my entire life, and then about a year ago, actually a year and a half ago, started producing music on my laptop. And pretty much all audio, and now it's all MIDI, and it's lit.
I got started in music when I was about 12. I ended up, when I was a kid, actually, younger kid, I would set up pots and pans in a drum kit shape, and I would sit on the kitchen floor just kind of banging on them and making ridiculous grooves out of it. Eventually, I ended up graduating to actually getting a real instrument, and that was my first guitar. That was really cool. And then I started to just look at that guitar, and it used to be just something that I would look at and dream of, and I never actually touched it. And then I ended up playing drums because one of the members of my church who ran the youth ministry didn't have a drummer. Their drummer was moving up to the next level. So I ended up playing drums for them, and I had never played a drum kit before in my life. I'd only played on those little pots. But I guess I had a natural knack for it because within a few months I was playing rhythms with them, and I was supporting them as their drummer, and then the next thing you know, music kind of swept me away. I was playing baseball at the time too, but music was really kind of enveloping my everything.
Let's do the chorus.